Do you want a sneak peek into what happened for So You Want to Be an Authortuber weekend? You are totally going to want to see this little bit of a snippet from one of the hours where we recorded part of the lecture, part of the coaching, and some of our conversations. Oh my goodness, it got so amazing. Do you want to see the free for life? I'm going to record. And we're going to start easing into the afternoon just a couple of minutes early. We may have some people join in and or step out as the morning activities from those who participate in Sunday church and so on do end and whatnot. And we're getting into the meat and taters of what I really love doing most. Really, Angela? Can you drop a link in the Facebook group to that, please? I'm curious. Thank you. Now I'm curious, for sure, for sure. So we have just 4 hours, containers of information for us to cover. And you all get to dictate half of what we talk about during that time. For sure, okay? Collaboration station. Remember how we were saying before lunch and kind of a moment ago, know what your limits are and who you want to work with, what kind of audience you have on your channel, and that'll kind of direct and not necessarily dictate, but bowling alley and bumper pad direct and guide what you need to do. So when should I start planning a collaborative series, like maybe my #anime taught me series where all of us did pre-recorded videos? I started planning that 3 months before it got notified to people that I was letting it be a thing. So in January and February of this year was when the project challenge was running and when people had the time frame to post their videos during. They had to sign up, I think, like no later than late December, so I could make sure they all understood the game plan and the rules, basically, before day 1 got here and we started. It took me most of Q4, sorry, to see who all wanted interest to do in that. Now, depending on the topic, you might not need 3 months. I know anime is a super niche interest. Now, if I had just made what fantasy authors taught me, I probably wouldn't have had to have taken 3 months. I could have probably done that in 3 weeks to see who all wanted interest. Okay? So kind of know that how long it takes to get people interested kind of depends on who follows you and their interest in that topic. Okay? This was a risk because most of the people on my channel aren't huge fans of anime. I did it knowing it was a way to collaborate with people I do not A, normally collaborate with, and B, trade subscribers between us that we otherwise would miss from each other, and C, get new people who do like anime, because there's a lot of themes in anime that people would like to see in my books, and I know that because anime influenced how I write. Now, some of you are probably going, music did the same thing for me. Art did the same thing for me. So circling back around to what we were talking to during the unrecorded lunch a little bit ago, this is where cross-promoing for reasons becomes key. It's a call to action. The whole video is not going to be about your author channel on your art channel or your lifestyle channel on your author channel or your gaming channel on this, whatever. But you can once in a while, once a month, once a week, once whatever, say, oh yeah, by the way, don't forget I have this thing. If you are interested, give them the choice. Because if you don't give them the choice, you already said no on their behalf. How dare you deny yourself a potential fan that way? And if it works, keep it. If it doesn't, let it go, okay? It took me 6 months before #anime taught me, before you all even saw the first video of really announcing it, to plan it ahead of time. Mind you, it took me that long because I have a day job outside of what I do here, okay? Those of you who have day jobs, those of you who are mothers, aunts, uncles, whomever, fathers, grandfathers, church duties, volunteer at other things, you know what your schedule looks like. Fit it in when you can. If it's going to take you 6 months to plan it before you even invite somebody to join you, so be it. And the only reason why Rama 1/2 would pivot so hard is, of course, because of cold water, unless you enjoy cold showers for mental health purposes. Anyway, so why should I want to do a collab series? We kind of covered that. Get new people in, interact with your community, grow it, and the how. This is where I love StreamYard because it makes having guests easy as far as how you can program it to your benefit to host that stuff, okay? Consider your ability to affiliate also, because in my opinion, just somebody being on screen with you counts as a collaborative affiliation, even if there's no money exchanged, because your name is sitting next to their name, okay? That's a very theater way to look at it. Top billing versus bottom billing. You get what I mean? That's a very theater way to look at. So consider your ability to affiliate not just above, but also below, because you never know who knows who and who you don't know. In Hollywood and in theater, they talk about 6 degrees of separation. You are a ripple away from a relationship that can benefit you in your channel's growth, and you don't even know it. You are possibly walking directly parallel to it, and all you have to do is go, hey! Getting told that a couple of weeks ago was a slap in the face. You're welcome. Without the slap. Just because someone has fewer subscribers than you does not mean that their audience will not follow you, everybody, okay? This is a very split view here in YouTube where you should, I don't like, it's a very segregation mindset, and I don't like it. It leads people to be cliquey, and I don't like it. Maybe that's because I was a misfit in high school and never really belonged to anyone. Click. I don't care. But why? You are literally telling potentially new audience members no. When you refuse to work above and below your bubble. Okay? Yeah. What's in a cross promotion on Ream if you don't have a lot of subs? Sometimes you have something better in your sub base doesn't mean you have no clue who's in that sub base is going to share it, right? You never know. And that is literally where I got slapped in the face with this, in part, was in the Ream Stories Accelerator. I've been sharing my Ream Stories link in reading groups where people know nothing about Ream Stories because it's a small platform. Your YouTube is small. Why not share it wherever you can and see what happens? This, Mel, it's also hard to get people's attention at certain times of year and plan accordingly. This is why we really should be paying attention to when book launches in our genres do well. We should also keep in mind to do stuff appropriately around big events. Most of us here in Authortube, if you don't do stuff during a Camp NaNoWriMo month, you are missing out on a ton of channel growth. Notice when do I like to talk about my workshop stuff most? During NaNoWriMo months. Why? Because that's when people care to hear it the most. The months where I did in between, people didn't care as much. Vlogmas. Don't talk about anything but Vlogmas if you're doing Vlogmas. Vlogmas works for certain people, okay? Not all. Yeah, I was going to say, start thinking ahead. Think 1 quarter ahead at least. This is how I built what I do on my channel. I started thinking 1 to 2 quarters ahead on my content. So I had time to build it. So I had time to fight my imposter syndrome. Kid you not, depending on the topic, right? Some people with larger audiences are not as intimate in their interaction with their audience as they once were either. I am already feeling this. Why? I'm having to get more comfortable with skipping around on comments when live streams get really busy. Because there's certain times where I'm not going to hit every single one. And I don't like the feeling of this. But you're going to start to, as you get bigger, get to where it starts to lose some cozy intimateness. It doesn't feel so one-on-one anymore. That's why I was so joyous earlier today when I'm like, oh my God, we're officially a community. We have an inside joke. Because I love little nerdy things like that. And that's why it is truly an honor to be part of any of y'all's channels. First 500, first 1,000, first 2,000, anything under 10,000, in my opinion. You get into those upper thousands and you really start to lose the ability to get super one-on-one with your audience unless you go do things like cons, unless you do things like courses and memberships and stuff. You see what I mean? You are building a layer onto your pyramid as you're growing for this interaction. So therefore, larger audiences might also not know who to send your way as much as a smaller subscriber either, okay? When I'm working with some booktubers, the ones who are about 1,000 subs bigger than me are the ones I get the most readers from. Exactly. I kind of know what I want. From my content far in advance. Also because I've asked people I've collaborated with, what do you think my greatest strengths are as a YouTuber? All of you should be asking yourself and asking other people to do that for you at any stage of growth. Does not matter if you have 10, 1,000, or 10,000 subs. You should be asking that question of, what do I do in this portal of representation of who I am best? Why? You're going to repeat it. For me, one of my best performing videos of all time, 5 lies you need to stop telling yourself before Preptober, and 5 lies you need to stop telling yourself before NaNoWriMo. They are tropey, niche-y, clickbaity videos. I am surprised they do as well as they do. Because I didn't think that model would work on my channel, and apparently it does once or twice a year. Okay? You see a lot of people who do that very BuzzFeed number title mindset because it works. You're literally telling people at a glimpse of what to do. Exactly. For those of you who are into things such as HB90, use the good, better, best so much. Sarah suggests it herself for a reason. She's the one who got me into doing it. I have in my HB90 plans a good, better, best sub goal. For the longest time, it was get over 1,000 subs by X quarter. Now, get over 2,000 subs by X quarter.
Do you want to see the replays of this? Do you want to join in the next cohort? Keep an eye around my channel toward the end of this year, and I'll have an invite for you. See you next week. I'll add a little bit more.
Thank you to our lovelies on reading stories over at Amaranth's Library and the Myrna Private Collection. Whether you're a human ally, sunwalker, bard, songweaver, merry misfit, or more, thank you for subscribing to our ranks. We thank you for all you do to support us. Want to join our endeavors? Head over to reamstories.com/Myrna Private Collection. That's reamstories.com/MERNA Private Collection, all one word, where you can access all of my books and more long before they are available at retailers and vendors. Hope to hang out with you there soon.